happening? Y'all gonna jump in there and help her out, right? Alright, cool. Well, looks like we got a couple interested alligators. I'll go ahead and ring the dinner bell, give them all a heads up. Let's hope all 300 or so don't show up at once. If they do, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Sound like a plan? Alright, here we go. Very high-tech alligator call. Never tried that. So there's about 300 adults out here in the main swamp. These are all nuisance wild-caught alligators. There's about another 400 worth of their offspring down the path. So you're looking at almost 800 alligators total on property. What has landed these alligators over here, though, is just being an alligator. What used to be creeks and swamps and bayous has now turned into waterfront property. So just being an alligator's pretty well got some of these guys in trouble. Now, one good thing about them, though, is they're actually very good at association. Alligators can associate times, places, sounds, even colors. They see in color about as well as you and I do. For some reason, pink happens to be their favorite color. Some of you ladies might need to watch out. Y'all stand in the middle. You too, sir. I see you hiding over there. But it doesn't take a very big alligator to ruin your day. At about 6 to 7 feet, which pretty much everybody on the bank right now is in that 6 to 7 foot range. But at this size, they have a bite force of about 400 to 500 pounds. Now, the reason that is significant is because our arms and legs tend to start breaking about 450. So that little alligator can actually do quite a bit of damage. Once they jump up in size to about 10 feet or so, which hopefully we'll get some big guys over here in a minute, but at 10 feet, that bite force jumps to about 1,800 to 2,000 pounds. And then we've got a big fella hanging out in the back of the swamp back there named Captain Crunch, who holds the record for bite force for a male American alligator at 2,982 pounds. This is true poundage, not PSI. They can actually generate into the hundreds of thousands of pounds PSI or tooth pressure. So he's only going to bite you once. Good thing is he can only hold that bite on you for about 20 minutes. So if y'all got 45 minutes to kill, things are going to be fun. At least we'll hope so, right? So pretty important time right now in alligator's life that we are still in breeding season. Right when I came out here, you guys heard all that commotion going on. That was a bellow that is associated with this breeding season. So that was all the big fellas trying to impress the ladies, saying, hey, I'm the biggest, baddest dude around. Listen to my deep guttural growl. Did it work? Guess not. So that's what was going on out here. If you are one of those big guys that was out here doing that bellow, you were probably not concerned with food right now because you were still interested in chasing girls at night. That breeding season's probably going to go for about another 2 to 3 weeks, I would say. We had a little bit cooler of a spring, so it's kind of pushed that breeding season back a little bit. So that's why I'm thinking about mid-June that it'll finally come to an end. But if you're a non-pecking order fella out here, you've got nothing better to do. The ladies aren't paying you any attention. So you're over here eating, trying to become that big 13-foot guy. And then if you're a female out here, you also want to take advantage of this meal opportunity, because once we get to that nesting season about mid-June and you establish your nest, ladies, you are not going to venture very far from it for the 65 days that it takes to hatch that baby alligator out. So mom should be capitalizing on this meal opportunity while she can. Now, looking at these alligators, y'all are probably wondering which ones are the boys, which ones are the girls. Externally, they do look the same. So I can't really look at one and say, yeah, that one looks like a boy, or that one kind of looks like a girl, because they are identical on the outside. Now, there is one major factor that you guys can use to determine the males from the females, and that is going to be size. So ladies, you don't get quite as big as the fellas do. You get upwards of 10 feet. There has never been a female documented over 11. And then fellas, you get up into about the 13-foot range, maxing at around 14. So if it's over 11 feet out here, I can pretty well guarantee it's going to be a male. Now ladies, what you lack in size, you actually make up for in overall temperament and attitude. Good example. One of the meanest alligators out here in the swamp. Due to her lovely temperament and attitude, we just call her Hillary. Hadn't seen her yet today. Well, kind of a slow feeding day it's looking like. No real big guys showing up. I don't know what their deal is. They might be tired, who knows. It is starting to get a little on the warmer side of things. Alligators really do not like this heat as bad as you and I don't like it. They like 85 degrees. So once it gets over that, they will tend to spend a lot more time in the water. You left your piece there, fella. Where are you going? Looks like I'm not sure about you, big guy. Alright, there's a decent sized fella starting to make his way down here. See if we can get him over here and break something for us. Now, granted, we're definitely not filling any of these alligators up. At one time, if they wanted to, some of these bigger guys y'all are seeing out here can actually eat about 1/5 of their overall body weight. So let's take that big guy that's on the point over there, use him for an example. I know he's kind of hard to see. We're going to say he's about 11.5 feet. I'm guessing maybe 500 pounds. We'll say he's a smooth 500, so I can do some easy math. But at 500 pounds, let's say something big comes along, like a pig, a deer, a third grader on vacation. He has got a stomach capacity of 1/5 of that overall body weight. So at 500 pounds, he could eat 100 pounds in one sitting. That a couple of those bad kids fit right in, wouldn't they? Now, if we're at the extreme other end of that, let's say that same 500-pound alligator's having a hard go of things, life's a little tough. As long as he gets 10% of that overall body weight, so now we're down to about 50 pounds, he can actually go upwards of about a year to a year and a half, no food whatsoever, still keeping that lovely figure of his. So it kind of shows you how good these guys are at energy conservation. Alright, let's go ahead and break out something a little bit bigger. Now that I've got me a decent sized alligator showing up over here. Really, after that breeding season is over is when the feeding shows pick up quite a bit. Those big guys will be tired of chasing girls. They'll be hungry at that point. We'll usually start getting around 20 to 30 alligators on the bank. Right now it's kind of a slow period just because we're in that breeding season. You guys play nice over there. So, y'all are probably wondering why these alligators don't just come up here, bum rush me, take my cooler, eat it at their leisure. First off, it's going to take a lot bigger alligator to take me down. Secondly, sir, I don't think you need to laugh so hard over there. Secondly, where he's actually going to make his living is down at the water's edge and in the water. Not that they can't catch you on land, because they do have a very impressive land speed in the lower 20-mile-an-hour range, but that is a flee response. So it's actually designed to run away from stuff, not chase things. The vast majority of what they're consuming out here in the wild consists of turtles, about 80%. Sounds pretty good, right? Hard, crunchy outside, soft, chewy center. Making me hungry just thinking about it. But yeah, pretty much everything they're going to encounter, they will just eat. They're an opportunistic animal. His method of hunting is simply laying wait. He's going to wait by the water's edge here for you to come down and get a drink. When you do, he jumps up, grabs you, now he's got dinner. So not that they couldn't catch us up here, because Reagan's pretty slow, but it's just out of their character to do so. Alright, let's see. I think he swallowed that pig leg. We're going to try and give him another one just because I'd like him to break it for us. See if he'll come back over here. He's going the other way up. I think he's still got it in his mouth. Now he's got 2 pig legs. If you guys are wondering what we're feeding, feral pigs are on the menu. If you don't have feral pigs where you're from, give a little while, I bet they show up. Pretty big invasive species. A lot of folks trying to get rid of them. Not many folks eating them, so we'll gladly feed them to the alligators. We're the #1 pork recycler around. Alright, I got a couple pieces left in here. Typically, once I get low on food, it is just a good idea to get out of here. Did we talk about... Oh, somebody's real hungry. This is, if y'all didn't notice, this is one of my 3-legged alligators right here. Missing that entire back leg. Losing a leg to an alligator, not too big of a deal. They clot blood very fast, so they're not going to bleed to death. They also have an antibody in their blood, makes them highly resistant to infection. So like I say, it's pretty common to see a 3-legged one. Let's see who this is hanging out over here. Oh, there's another guy looking extra hungry. Ouch! Makes my fingers hurt right there. I don't know about y'all. There you go, alligator. So we do have everything from about a 7 or 8 year old alligator to early to mid 40s. Alligators live about 50 years in the wild. Older in captivity, oldest ever documented is early 70s, which is more of a zoo type setting. Some of these alligators y'all are seeing down the path over here that were born on site would potentially make it into their 60s. But the way we're going to age this alligator accurately is after he is dead, we can take his femur bone, you can cut it in half, stain it, magnify it, and actually count it like you would rings in a tree. So until they die, I'm just guessing based off size, physical characteristics, need to know if it's a boy or a girl. Once we determine whether it's a boy or a girl, we can start looking at the amount of teeth they have in their head. So if you had a big 13-foot alligator that's missing most of his teeth, he's probably just an Alabama fan, or he's early to mid-40s. One of the two. All right, last couple pieces. I see one more big guy coming over. I've got something for him if he'll show up. Let's see if we can lure him over real quick. Kind of looks like Chili Dog. Might be Chili Dog. Come on, alligator, here. Heel. Believe it or not, these are highly trained alligators. Watch this, alligators. Lay down. 6 years of teaching that. All right, well, cool. Nice, calm alligator feeding. I really didn't have to run for my life. I know that's not as fun for you guys, but it works out good for me. Let's go ahead and throw this big old pig butt in there, shall we? Are y'all having a barbecue today? Want to take this home? I can throw it over the fence just as easy. Don't ask what it is, just cook it. These are actually pretty fresh pigs. Hey there, alligator. Not Chili Dog, but you'll do just the same. Come on up here. Come on. He's thinking about it. It's like, you get a little closer. There we go. Come on. Oh, you gonna come up here? Yeah, come on up. He's like, nope, too much effort. Changed my mind. Uh-oh. Off the rim. Let me try that one more time. All right. Yummy. All right, y'all keep an eye on him, see what he does with that. He's going to go try and find him a nice quiet spot and see if he can enjoy that a little bit. Hopefully some other big alligator does not come around and steal it from him. You stay. Give me this back. Another one of our three-legged alligators showing up. This is Sweet Pea. Cool alligator. Loves kids. Can't tell by looking at her. All right, well, what we're actually going to do, Miss Sherry's hanging out over there underneath the shade tree. She's got an alligator out. If you guys have not had the opportunity yet to hold one, I highly recommend you do so. Ladies, they're not slimy, they're not slippery. They feel kind of like a $2,000 pair of shoes, so they're quite pleasant. So y'all go over there and find Sherry if you want to hold that alligator. If you don't like alligators, you'd rather hold a snake, directly behind her is our wild encounter area. Should be some snakes roaming around out there, so y'all see what's slithering about. If you hadn't made it to the back of the swamp, the further you go down this path, the bigger these guys should get. There's about 30 of them that are over 12 feet. Quite a few big guys roaming around. Last but not least, if y'all need to get rid of somebody, y'all come see me down here in the corner. Other than that, y'all enjoy. Woo.